My name is Rindachma and I'm station manager at Raw 12:51 AM.
My name is Lucy Ferraby-Stocks and I'm one of the station managers here at Raw.
Hi, I'm Dunya Simoes, I'm the head of speech and entertainment.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, I'm head of arts.
Hi, I'm Charlie and I'm head of visual here at Raw.
I'm Simi and I'm head of production here at Raw.
I'm Sophie, I'm head of publicity.
I'm Tinika and I'm the head of marketing and sponsorship here at Raw.
The encouragement from other females in the society, women in the society, that's a better way of putting it. I was encouraged to stay on Raw, particularly from women in the society who actually uplifted me, encouraged me to stay on and become exec. So that's a very important part of what we do.
I think training and development opportunities that are pushed in moments when people try to get involved with the society generally help. But seeing that there are already quite a lot of women involved, I think helped me to join this role. And I think emphasis on the fact that you will not sort of be left on your own to do the thing in the society is I don't know if that's female specific, but I think that's the main part of the job.
I think projects exactly like this one is great in keeping Raw's female presence so strong. It really, taking a week to celebrate women, really keeps our society so inclusive and welcoming and allows us to celebrate women, not just in general, but also the ones who work so hard in our exec.
Genuinely, I think having a strong female leadership, having women in the exec, especially high positions, not just as a head of department, but especially as we had female PCs and station managers. I think having those as sort of the figureheads of the society is a really refreshing and welcoming thing as a woman to get more involved in the society, in a sort of area that's traditionally seen as male dominated.
Definitely having female members on the exec committee. I feel it's a lot more welcoming and invites more of a female presence in the society. Just having girls, rock the society, definitely helps that both our station managers are girls, are women. So it feels like a really welcoming and inviting environment for women.
Nice. I think things that help have a strong female presence is that kind of open conversation. Communication is really important. I think in Raw we have a really good way of communicating each other where it's a safe space for all genders, which has really made it a welcoming environment for women who are creative and want to be in more leadership roles.
I think for Raw specifically, to have a strong female presence, our biggest selling point is our application process. Anyone can apply from any background, any gender, any race or ethnicity, and everyone can get involved with appropriate training and coaching. And it's also the fact that you are then taught by lots of women within the station, which hopefully in turn inspires others to go on and become deputies and members of the executive committee, which hopefully also in turn launches a career. So we've got a lot of inspirational female alumni that have gone on to do various exciting things, especially in radio, such as Rachula Shah. So it's something to aspire to, which hopefully in turn inspires younger people at the university.
I think what helps societies like Raw to have a strong female presence is creating an environment that's really safe and welcoming to women, and it really has to be a place where women support each other and they respect each other and they respect each other's opinions and the things that they do. And I think personally it's always really good to see someone do the thing, other women do the thing that you want to do. And that's something that I definitely saw in Raw when I first joined. I saw other women doing things I would like to do, and it made me feel like, oh, this could be a place for me for sure.
I'd say there isn't one individual who's been my biggest inspirational influence. I think as I've grown up that's changed, from the likes of studying history and politics, learning about Emmeline Pankhurst at school, all the way through to looking at a prospective career potentially in journalism, the first female News at 10 presenter on the BBC, Fiona Bruce, all the way through to looking a bit closer to home, so people like my mum who I certainly wouldn't be here without.
My biggest inspiration is Of course, Lady Gaga. She is not only one of my favorite music artists, but she is just such a strong woman that empowers other women. I feel like she stands up against discrimination in general, and I think one of the most important things she advocates for is kindness, and that is really, really inspiring to me, because I do think, as corny as it sounds, being kind to each other is probably one of the most important things.
My biggest inspiration is probably pianist Tiffany Poon. She's done so much, from winning so many awards, working so hard, to building her own charity for a cause she really believes in. And she really shows what hard work is like and what you have to do in order to achieve your dream, and I just think that's so inspiring.
My biggest influences are honestly my sisters. I absolutely adore them, and they're always like there for me and supporting me, and they each have carved out their own way in just making their lives how they want it to be. They're so inspirational. Like, if I'm anything like them, then I'm happy, because they are just incredible people and really strong female characters, really just strong women.
I don't know. My chemistry teacher from secondary school, and I don't think it's particularly because of her gender or anything to do with any diversity quota, but because of just the amount of work she put in to achieve aspirations and to help students, and I think I reflect that in everything I do. I want to try and help other people.
My inspiration is Sue Lloyd-Roberts. She is a fantastic, well, she was. The late Sue Lloyd-Roberts was a fantastic journalist and reporter, and I really aspired to be like her. She was brave, extremely courageous and brave, and set herself out into the world to do a lot of things that men said she couldn't. And she turned out to be the BBC's best reporter at the time.
My biggest inspiration, who's a woman, is probably my mum. I know that's really cringy, but she's the Archdeacon of Loughborough. So she's worked in a very male-dominated career path, I suppose. And she's sick. Like, she gives such cool talks to people. I know she has people telling her she can't do her job that are men beneath her in her job. So she manages people now that told her not to do her job in the first place. And I think that's sick. Personally, from my own experiences, I think women who tend to want to fill leadership roles and have ideas and are like not going to be budged by people telling them they can't do them, still get this kind of notation that they're aggressive or dominant or selfish. And I think as soon as we remove that stigma of women wanting to be successful, as just letting them be successful rather than trying to judge them for wanting to be successful, that will change the way society view women.
I'd say the single biggest issue isn't necessarily obtaining roles, although that is still a prominent challenge. I'd say it's the maintenance of them. So women facing obstacles in their day-to-day careers, that once they've got a job or a certain position, being able to come over these obstacles on a daily basis and maintain that over a number of weeks, months, and hopefully years. And so sadly, there's certain things and problems still keep arising, so I'd say it's more the maintenance of these roles and the longevity of them.
Well, speaking from someone who speaks to a lot of people who in commercial industries who try and increase diversity quotas, that actual lack of care over it and people pretending they care when they don't and just doing it for the sake of promotion. We need some more value put into the work they're doing with women and encouraging people from diverse backgrounds to get involved in any sector.
Although feminism's come like a really long way from what it used to be, there is still like the unsurmountable like issue of sexism, and like especially women's portrayal in the media. There's so many stereotypes that are still like thrust, like there's still so many stereotypes that still affect women and how they're seen in society today. So definitely sexism is the issue.
I think ignorance and people that try to pretend it's not an issue and don't consider it an issue anymore, and people that try to think that it doesn't affect them and they are completely outside the issue and their actions have no impact on it, because it's such a broad scale thing that ignoring it and pretending it's not there and pretending you don't play a role is, I think, what's ultimately like slowing down the progress.
the belief that we have achieved equality, because we are far from it yet. Us Western women like to displace ourselves from feminism, thinking that we have achieved all and the women in third world countries are worse off than us, when that's not necessarily true.
The lack of women in positions of power, so like CEOs of companies or movie directors, really all the big jobs. There's a lack of women there, and I think that this is a huge problem because, first of all, it reflects how much sexism there is still in the workplace. It reflects problems with the general way that young girls and women in general are treated, where they're told, well, this is not for you. You know, these high-paying big jobs, they're not for you. And obviously this is a huge issue, and I think that it also clearly reflects how there is a continuation of problems, because when there is not women in power to sort of push for feminism really and equality, that continues the problem, that just snowballs it. And I think a way to really fix that is in the way, first of all, as I said, we treat young girls and women, and really show them that positions in power are for them, absolutely, 100%. Give them that confidence. And of course, in education in general, there is so much that can be done to sort of push girls further and really inspire them to keep moving on up and break that glass ceiling, right?